Hi everyone, this is Lily from Lily Likes to Draw on Tumblr. So somebody asked me to make a tutorial for them on how I draw flowers. I've never made a tutorial before, so I'm not sure if this is going to be the most helpful thing ever, but you know, maybe you'll learn something. So first things first, references are important. That is pretty much all I use. I just look at a bunch of different references. So you want to go on Google and you want to search for a flower that you want to draw, one of your favorite flowers, it doesn't matter. Right now I'm looking at cherry blossoms. So first you want to look at the flower like an overall shape. So here cherry blossoms are kind of like stars. Some other flowers are like more like circle shapes, circles within circles. But what you want to remember is that even though you're working on a 2D space, you're drawing a 3D object. So some flowers are turning towards you, facing you, and some are turning away, like this one. So petals will fold over each other and all that. So always think 3D, okay. Another thing that you want to think about is that not all petals look alike. So in this image, like this petal has a little crease in it, and when you're drawing, you want to treat each petal like it's its own individual object, and that way when you look at it as a whole, the flower will be more natural and organic looking. You're really not aiming for perfection. Even your drawing doesn't have to even look like the reference image that you use. Really, like everything in nature is imperfect, so it's okay if like something's off, it doesn't look the same. Like I think it's still gonna look good. Okay, so for supplies, you need a hard pencil to sketch with. I'm using a 4H. You can pretty much use any pencil that erases easily. You'll also need a bunch of different fine line markers to outline your sketch, and I'm using Prismacolor. So I'm going to teach you guys how to draw this peony. It's a new favorite of mine. There's so many layers. But remember, you want to look at the overall shape first. So here we see kind of like a circular shape, and then all the petals fan out from there. And when I usually start with like a petal in the middle somewhere to anchor me and to be a good like reference point. So I'm going to start drawing this petal right here. You're going to be using your 4H or 2H pencil to sketch a general outline of the flower, just so you know where everything is. You want to focus on one petal at a time, drawing the petal in the front first before the ones behind it, so it's easier to layer. You really want to think about the individual petals and how they overlap each other and how they're kind of cupping each other around the flower. So again, 3D shape, even though you're drawing on a 2D piece of paper. None of these petals have to be perfect. Again, it's in pencil, so you can erase. You want to work around the inner circle of the flower first and work your way out, or that's the way that's easiest for me. So I generally do the inside of the flower last. So you're going to keep going. Once you've finished sketching the flower, you're going to take a step back and look at it and kind of make some adjustments accordingly. So now we are going to outline it with a pen, a medium pen, preferably 05, that's the one I'm using. Now you can't really make mistakes, so you want to just make sure that you always check back with the reference image. At this point, I add some more texture. I make the lines a little more detailed and a little more like scribbly. You're going to be working the same way you did when you were sketching, so from the inside out. And if you find that what you drew before isn't what it looks like in the reference picture, then you can just go ahead and fix it. This part will probably take you longer than the first part because it's, you know, it needs to be perfect. Once you get to the stamen, you're going to be working from the front to the back, and you just want them all to face different directions to look more natural. So now we're going to take a thick pen, I'm using 08, to line the outside of the flower, and this really just makes it pop. There's so many little lines that you kind of want a thick one on the outside to make it all come together. It just looks a lot better. Finally, we're going to put details in the petals by using a thin pen to line the inside of them, and I'm using an 03. And these lines, they just give the petals more depth, more shape. You can kind of, you want to line it in a way that you can see which way the petals folding over each other. It just makes it look a lot better. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to use a reference. You can just kind of make it up. I just think it's a great way to bring it all together. And now we erase all of our pencil lines. That's the final step. You really could have done this anytime after you outline the pencil or with ink, but I like to do it last. I hope this tutorial helped you guys. Let me know if you have any questions.